And we're waiting for some more information from Portland Police, who is leading this investigation at this point. But I want to show you I-205, specifically the northbound lane. I want you to take a look at what photojournalist Anthony Balcorda is showing you. You can see that spot there. That's where we saw a vehicle that was flipped on its side, upside down actually. And once police towed that vehicle away at around 4:30 this morning, they did reopen the interstate. Now, Katu News was on scene as the situation was developing Wednesday night. Portland Police say they came to assist on the incident at around 10:30, and according to them, Clackamas County Sheriff's deputies were chasing a suspect headed north on I-205 who crashed near Market Street, where we are now. At that point, they left the scene on foot. Reportedly, the suspect ran into the southbound lane of traffic, and that's when Portland Police say the suspect was shot and killed by a Clackamas County deputy. Now, we don't know how many shots were fired or how many deputies may have been directly involved in this shooting, but police say that no officers or deputies were hurt. Taking it back live out to I-205 this morning, it was either fully or partially closed for about 6 hours overnight during the investigation. We have reached out to law enforcement to try and find out some more information around the circumstances around this deputy-involved shooting, and we will update as soon as we learn more. But as far as traffic impact goes, again, the last closure lifted at around 4:30 this morning, and it's completely clear right now.
This is new at 11 now. 2 Portland police officers are being called heroes for their quick action after a fiery crash. Officers Andrew Young and Garrett Wilson watched a BMW run the light on 122nd and Division just before 1 a.m. on Saturday. They gave chase but called off that pursuit for safety reasons. Wilson believes the driver was going about 80 miles an hour when he ran another red light at Powell just as another car approached.
And we just watched this car just smashed right into kind of a T-bone crash front end to front end in this other car. And we just watched this really violent spinning. One car started, the suspect car rolled, I believe, 6 times.
BMW landed on its wheels and burst into flames. The suspect driver ran from the scene, but police could see a passenger trapped inside.
So I went over with my fire extinguisher, tried to put out the fire best I could, and at least gave some space and went over to the passenger side where we had multiple officers that were working on getting the passenger out.
Another officer climbed into the BMW, freed the passenger's legs, and pulled him to safety. That man and the other driver were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The 19-year-old suspect driver was later caught and now faces many charges, including driving under the influence. Officer Young believes without the quick efforts of nearly a dozen officers, the outcome would have been much worse.
Well, you know, we'd all like to think that we could leave our car unlocked, even leave the keys in it, leave it running, leave our purse or computer bag inside, and it would all still be here when we get back. That's not very likely. In some places, car theft reports have doubled, and what that comes down to is it means we all have to be twice as ready. Well, the numbers tell the story. The Clark County Sheriff's Office say stolen vehicle reports went up from 581 in 2020 to 801 in 2021. And the Portland Police Bureau saw the number jump from 570 to more than 1,000 in that same time. Multnomah County Sheriff's Office saw a 25% increase. And those numbers are just for the vehicles that are reported. Police say budget cuts are cutting back on their ability to recover stolen vehicles. They have other crimes to get to.
When it comes to, automobile thefts, it's a very expensive and very important piece of property, but it is a piece of property. And so if we're going to be weighing whether we're going to be responding to an incident where somebody is in danger, their person is in danger, and a piece of property, we're always going to err on the side of the person.
But when it comes to stolen vehicles, sometimes law enforcement won't be tracking them down at all, at least not with the thief inside. The Clark County Sheriff's Office posted this. It is important for the public to know in most cases our deputies are not authorized to pursue occupied stolen vehicles or use intervention techniques to recover occupied stolen vehicles. Well, safety is part of the reason for most law enforcement agencies, but in Washington, new legislation only allows for police and deputies to go after certain felons. They say that means most stolen cars won't be recovered unless they're abandoned. Abandoned vehicles are something this woman woman is used to seeing after having her own vehicle stolen, she goes out looking for others. Her partner even started a Facebook page called Catching Car Thieves.
Had no idea it would blow up like it did. We get so many member requests. It's over 5,000 now. But we don't let just anybody in, so we do a vetting process.
And there's a good reason for that. When it comes to websites like Catching Car Thieves or another one, Pacific Northwest Stolen Cars, there are people who troll those sites looking for victims and call them up and say, I have information about your car if you want to pay me for it. The people that run those websites, they never, ever hand over cash for information. File a police report and lock your car.
City leaders are set to vote in 2 weeks on starting the process for a body camera pilot program for police. They talked about this in today's city council meeting. The plan is to put cameras on about 175 officers during August and September this year. To do that, the bid process would start next month. That's when the city decides what company to buy the cameras from. One person who testified at today's meeting raised concerns that the city will potentially buy cameras before there is a policy in place for the program. Mayor Ted Wheeler addressed that concern during an exchange in the meeting. Take a listen.
The timeline we just saw, the pilot will not be in the field till after the policies have been adopted. Just to be clear.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, but you're asking for the vendors to present you with possible technology when you don't know what you need the technology to do yet. The only way you're going to know that is if you do the policy first.
Well, and there may be additional features or different ideas that they bring forth as well. I don't think we're trying to limit ourselves here, but I do appreciate your testimony.
The plan now calls for police to buy over 600 cameras for all officers by the end of 2023. City leaders are still debating things like who gets access to the video and whether officers can review the video before writing reports or testifying.